Welcome back to Starcross Kings, everybody. As you probably remember, Paul was the king at the end of yesterday, but unfortunately he could not play today and therefore was forced to abdicate his throne, which means, since he could not find a suitable replacement, that we are now in the first power struggle in several consecutive reigns. And the two challengers that are going to step up to try and take control are famed Command and Conquer streamer Bikerush and Stofka. So I know Bikerush has been into the game a lot more lately. He's been playing it off and on, enjoying it apparently. Seems to want to try and get into it a little bit more. This will be his first tournament attempt. His first attempt in a competitive setting. Let's see if he can pull it off. He has equipped himself with Rifle Company. I think they did the wrong base positions, didn't they? Actually, no. Bikerush is blue. It's on the right side. I guess I don't actually understand how the colors work relative to the But yeah, they definitely did the wrong base positions. That's ready for action. I don't care. In fact, I think it's actually better this way. I think Axis has a slightly easier time on the south spawn. Because I'm actually seriously considering changing for further future tournaments, like theoretical tournaments that might happen on co2.org in the future that I may or may not be involved in. Might wanna, if I do include this map, which I may not even include this map, but if we did include this map, I think we'd want to reverse the spawn default locations. This house in particular is a big deal. If allies take control of it early, it's extremely problematic. The north base doesn't have any such problem because taking this house is not nearly as crippling. This house a little bit. These two over here can be problematic for north base, but not as problematic, I don't think, as this one. And then these are not very useful as offensive or defensive positions. And just the general layout of the map, helps Axis, I think, in south spawn. It's still a very difficult map for Axis, no matter which spawn they get, but I don't know. I want to experiment with that idea a little bit. We're gonna see four rifle openings, from Bikerush. 2 of them are vetted, so it looks like we might be looking at Captain Tier. 4th one making its way out of the base right now, and Stofka going with
Capture point is under attack.
3 grenadiers into MG42 for Stofka, also known as Gustapo. We're gonna see Festung support Luftwaffe supply and Festung armor from him, so he's not going to go with any of the premium super duper meta commanders. He's going to experiment a little bit. Luftwaffe supply might be fun. You don't see that one very frequently. No selections yet, though. Generally, that's a very early pick for the medical supplies. Riflemen continue working on grenadiers in the building. Stofka taking early map control in the center, seems to be performing quite well in engagements, forcing 2 retreats from Bikerush, 3 retreats actually from Bikerush already. 1 squad jumping into this structure is going to struggle to engage cost effectively. However, this squad taking control of the left side munitions point should be able to maintain control of that building. If Stofka sneaks in, though, that would be problematic. Should not let him do that. Apparently neither of them is going to take control of the building. Alright. Riflemen switch targets to those grenadiers, and they're getting hit by the grenadiers in this building, plus the damage from the close-range pyos, sufficient to force those riflemen to retreat. I think if one of them had jumped in the building right there, it could have been an engagement turner for either one of them. Apparently not. MG42 moving up over here on the left side, and Stofka will begin the game with excellent map control, taking control of the left side munitions, both VPs. He needs to grab that at some point, but for right now he has a very good defensive setup over here, protecting himself against Bikerush's next push, who has gone 4 rifles ambulance, rather than getting himself a quick officer out. Getting an ambulance before your first officer is kind of inefficient, though. Spend a lot of manpower on healing, and you don't get a return on that investment until later on. It's better to get the officer out first for the faster firepower shock value effect. Bikerush spreading out, trying to move his riflemen down to the flanks. It looks like Stofka's pretty idle right now. He's just camping in these buildings, not trying to take any more territory than he thinks he can hold. He will throw up tier 2, spending a lot of manpower on tech and straight to an AT gun. AT gun maybe a little on the early side. I mean, 6 minutes is it's a good time to get an AT gun as Auster. But this particular game against 4 rifles, you might want to maybe get out a 4th Grenadier. Maybe on this map even a mortar or second pile flamethrower or something like that. Try and keep up with your opponent's infantry. It can be difficult to actually maintain a count of your opponent's riflemen, but you can manage that. You can use that information to inform your own build decisions. Getting an AT gun out at 6.5 minutes against 4 riflemen is going to leave you a little weak. 4 riflemen and a lieutenant, in fact, who's about to hit the field. Of course, once the light vehicle comes out, AT gun will have a roll. Its timing's just going to be a little off.
Well, grab your shit and follow me. We have a lieutenant reporting in for duty.
That squad will be forced to retreat right there. The squad takes control of the strategic point in the back. These two grabbing the munitions and VP. Victory points thus far. This game definitely going in Gustapo's favor. Bikerush will jump into the building right here. Grenadiers forced back into the building if they want to engage cost effectively. Here, they will be slowly trading back and forth. The Grenadiers, I think, will win this. They definitely have 4 windows from which to engage. Riflemen have got 5 also, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Grens will win that over time. Might come down to who gets the first snipe, but it'll also depend on support arriving. Rear echelon troops and riflemen move to trade territories over here. Pios move to harass the right side. AT gun is out, lieutenant is out, and an M20 is on the way. It's going to be a slightly late M20, but Bikerush has turned his map control situation around pretty well. Forced to retreat from this machine gun. There's the retreat. More riflemen try to move up on the flank, but supporting squad of Grenadiers right there in green cover, taking too much damage, and the engagement is definitely lost. Those 2 squads will be sent back to base, but these riflemen plus lieutenant on the right side and a second squad of riflemen to support, have no problem cleaning up this very light harassment attempt, and Bikerush will get all territories on the right side back under his control, and he seems to just be out capping Stofka right now. He's actually, I think, losing more engagements than he's winning. But he's just a little bit more mobile, better at winning flank engagements and trading for territory faster, trading up for territory. The map is slowly trending in his favor, turning more blue. M20 is making its way towards the left side and will be able to push away that machine gun probably. If it manages to sneak up on that AT gun from behind, could be good. AT gun already on the field. If that M20 exposes itself to a Panzerfaust, it may be destroyed. I think he's intentionally trying to bait the Panzerfaust to drain his opponent's munitions. Maybe a dangerous thing to do. Over here on the right side, Panzer Grenadiers are losing an engagement against these riflemen. They will be forced to retreat, take heavy bleed, and inflict very little in return. And the Grenadiers left retreated without firing a Panzerfaust. The M20 has not taken engine damage, and the AT gun is going to rotate to try and predict its route. Moves up to start cleaning up an MG right here. Rifleman upgraded with a flamethrower here in the north. Catch a Grenadier squad out of position, and that almost gets wiped. Machine gun is making its retreat. AT gun turns to fire. Late reaction by Bikerush, and it might go down. Ooh, got the crew out at the very last second. If he had popped smoke rather than getting the crew out, he might have gotten away. But at the very least, he salvages the crew, so better than just losing the unit entirely.
Area's ours. Look there. More evidence of just how great our leader is. Area's ours. God, orders! Someone get us out of here! I need cover! Know what that means?
Despite the loss of his M20, Bikerush has absolutely taken control of the entire map, dominating Stavka at every turn. Rifle Company in full effect this game. Stavka struggling to hold a defensive line. Panzer Grenadiers making their way back onto the field at the left side. Chase off a couple riflemen. This Pio squad is apparently trying to kite that lieutenant. Why would he not retreat that though? That's asking for it. One lucky shot from that lieutenant squad, and that was a dead flamethrower Pio. Stavka gambled and got really lucky right there. He did go with a mortar. Try and contend with Bikerush's sheer quantity of infantry. So meanwhile, Bikerush is up to 112 fuel because of his very dominant map control. Even after purchasing a major, which is in production, as soon as this completes, he will be able to afford a roughly 12-minute Sherman. Which is going to put Stavka under very tremendous pressure, and he needs to try and turn the map control situation around now. Bikerush makes an almost full retreat after a very aggressive push all the way up to Stavka's base. Stavka hasn't lost any full squads. I don't think either player has yet. Model loss is also quite even, which should go, I think, in just barely in Stavka's favor because, I mean, Bikerush's favor because riflemen are cheaper than grenadiers. Although Stavka has a slight lead. Probably just pretty even. Where the U.S. forces manpower inherent advantage is just in effect right now. But no wipes other than the loss of a utility car for either player.
German territory increases. We've been spotted! Stand ready! Someone get us out!
Major's on the field, moving up to the front line. He might consider bringing the ambulance up for a forward retreat point. He does also have one bazooka on the field should he need it against something. I don't know what stuff is going to field though that could possibly turn his situation around. He still hasn't selected a commander. 6 CPs in. Rifle Company is putting immense pressure on him, pushing him back into the base. Machine gun's just gonna get sniped to death. There it goes. Flamethrower working on the left side. Wipes a mortar and an AT gun here. It looks like this might be the game. I don't know if Stavka can recover from these losses, and he's not taking territory back on any front.
The sector has been cut off.
White Phosphorus dropped into the base, trying to delay counterattack while stolen team weapons start setting up.
All right, you guys, make ready. All right, troops.
Lieutenant hanging out in the back. What few forces Stavka has left are making their way towards the right side, but the Sherman is available to push them back off the battlefield.
Our HQ is under attack.
Rather than doing that, it's just going to drive right up and start working on the Tier 1 structure and remove the possibility of Panzerfausts. Bundle grenade into this
That was too
group.
close. Take it out of here.
Almost wipes the Major right there, although as far as pickups go, that one's not that valuable. It's very easy to replace.
43 anti-tank
And Panzer Grenadiers are immediately forced back into the base. Anyway, since it doesn't look like Stavka will be able to recover control of this game, Bikerush is going to take game 1 with a 412 VP victory. On La Glaze breakout.
We have lost a tank gun. Target destroyed. Ship.
Which, honestly, as far as Allied victories on this map go, may not even be that great. I think Stavka has a very real chance of topping that in game 2, so let's see if he can recover the series.